What's up, party people? This is the Jack Frost Show, and you know what? Let's just get it. Today, it's been reported that President Trump had a conversation with the Mexican president, Enrique Pena Nieto. The conversation came only 7 days after Trump entered office on January 27th. They talked about things that the leaders of the free world talk about. And then eventually it got around to who was going to pay for the wall. Pena Nieto insisted he's not going to pay for the wall. His country, no wall construction. But Trump demanded that he stop making these claims public. He said, you cannot say that to the press. The press is going to go with that, and I cannot live with that. You cannot say that to the press because I cannot negotiate under those circumstances. Trump insisted that Pena Nieto did not have any more further talk about how Mexico will not pay for the wall. He says it'll all come out in the wash. I'm just going to say that we're working on it. It seems to me that Trump just seems more interested in not letting it get out that the Mexican government is going to refuse to pay for the wall rather than the fact, or what it seems to be, the fact that the Mexican government will not pay for the wall. It just seems to be another entire spin job. So this is where we're at. The Mexican government is insisting they're not paying for the wall. Trump is insisting they are paying for the wall, and the wall doesn't know who's paying for it. These are the type of stories that I don't really want to have to report on, but I have to report on them. And the reason why I don't like reporting them because it's a situation where nobody wins. Anyway, hip hop pioneer Kid Creole, he was charged with the murder of a homeless man. The reason in which why he says, well, sources are saying, police and sources are saying that he ended up murdering the man was because he believed that the man was hitting on him. This is crazy, yo. I'm gonna tell you from personal experience. I live in New York City, and it's easy to just get confused with somebody's mannerisms of what they're doing and what's going on with them. Especially people that we don't know. Sometimes people might just be being friendly. I don't know, but you know, for somebody that had to have lost their life over, even if they were hitting on him, it's a sad thing. Anyway, Creole's real name was Nathaniel Glover. He was arrested Wednesday and accused of killing John Jolly, who was 55, in the East 44th Street and 3rd Avenue. Glover, Nathaniel Glover, he was a member of the Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. Remember that song? Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge and I'm about to lose my head. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, it was dope. For the people that don't know about it, it was dope. He was in the area because he was a handyman and a security guard. So he was a security guard, and he did handyman work for people in the area. And he was actually heading to his job when the run-in happened with Jolly, who was drunk at the time. Sources are saying they had no prior relationship. They just had words, and things got out of control, and there was some kind of disrespect shown to one or the other. Glover thought Jolly, who is a convicted rapist and sex offender, was hitting on him. Like, not for nothing, let's just stop for a second. I really, really don't like when I'm reading the news, I'm reading the newspaper, or I'm, hearing the news on the TV, and they just randomly say, this person got murdered by the police, or this person got murdered by another individual, and then they bring up, their criminal history, but their criminal history has absolutely nothing to do with what happened at that moment. They'll be like, oh yeah, this person, they got murdered by John so and so on whatever block because they got into an argument over whatever BS, and then they'll be like, and yeah, this guy's a convicted bank robber, or it's like, well, the robbing of the bank has not, if it doesn't have something to do with whatever the argument was, or with whatever the reason why they had conflict, there's no reason to bring it up. I don't like when people do that. But in this particular case, I'm saying that because I just brought up the fact that this man is a convicted rapist. And on top of that, on top of being a convicted rapist and sex offender, he's like a level 2 sex offender. So, no, that it has something to do with this particular scenario or case because Glover is saying that he believes that the man was making advances towards him. And, it gets crazy like that out here. And I live in New York City, and it's not, I got another video up about transgender people or trans woman, trans man. I don't know the proper terminology for it. I don't want to offend anybody. I just don't know the proper terminology for it. If somebody wants to educate me in the comments. And so in the future, I could use the proper terminology, and I'm not disrespecting anybody of that anybody in that group of people. So the point in which I'm trying to make is that there are some aggressive mofos out there. It's not everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got black people, that we got some ignorant black people, but not everybody's ignorant. But if somebody was to say, well, there's some ignorant black people, I can't argue with that. There are some ignorant black people. There are some ignorant white people. There are some ignorant Mexican people. There are some ignorant Puerto Rican people. There are some ignorant Dominican people. There's ignorant people in every race and gender, period. And what I'm saying is, in New York City, there really is. It's not as bad as it was, let's say, about 3-4 years ago. It's not as bad, but there are some really, really aggressive, alternative lifestyle people. Gay people, like really, really aggressive. So I'm not trying to say that this guy in particular was being aggressive towards him. I'm just saying, maybe he feels a way because he's come across one of those individuals before and he couldn't, walk away from this particular situation that he should have. And even if dude was being over aggressive, there was no reason to stab him. You got to turn away. You got to walk away from that. Like, you got to get out of that situation. Even if you have somebody coming up to you trying to, do whatever they're trying to do, you got to get yourself out of that situation. You can't stab them in the chest. You can't kill them. You can't do that. You know what I'm saying? If they put hands on you first, you could protect yourself, reasonably protect yourself. Not, they put hands on you, so now you're gonna slit their throat. That doesn't go like that. You got to reasonably protect yourself to the point where you could get out of the situation and then escape. And that's how that works. That's how that works. So you're on the right side of the law. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't, right now, it's not about who's the better fighter. It's not about none of that. It's about getting yourself out of the situation and then progressing away from the situation. So, things don't happen that can cause for you to, lose your life either by going to prison or because the other individual ends up taking your life. Like, that's how we need to think out here, period. And homeboy, yeah, I got the thing. I just blew and shit. I know it went right into the mic. Sorry about that, everybody. But basically, that's basically what happened. A pedestrian called 911 for Jolly just before midnight on Tuesday because they thought he had passed out. First responders were surprised when they saw this knife wounds in his chest. So the medics, they rushed him to Bellevue Hospital where he died. And he was caught, Kid Creole was caught when they reviewed surveillance. They reviewed surveillance cameras and he got caught. Look, you can't do crimes nowadays. You do crimes nowadays, there's cameras everywhere, especially in Manhattan. For people that has never been to Manhattan, I'm letting you know right now, there's cameras everywhere, especially in Manhattan. What do you think those little things are? Those, anybody that's been in Manhattan, in New York City, in Manhattan, like there's another man. Is there another Manhattan? There's probably another Manhattan. Isn't there like a Manhattan Beach somewhere, like in California? Anyway, that's not the point. So in Manhattan, they have these little phone kiosk things where you could charge your phone at and look up stuff on the internet, and it's all free. And you can even make free telephone calls. But I'm telling you right now, there's cameras on those things. They freaking every time you go past that thing, they're picking up your phone so they could like track you throughout the city. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm telling you, you when you're in New York City, the eyes are on you. Okay, you're not gonna commit a crime in Manhattan, especially lower Manhattan. He was on 44th and 3rd. You're not going to commit a crime down there and they're not going to catch you. It's going to happen. So especially when you're in situations that are as just crazy as whatever the situation that he was in, you got to get yourself out of that situation. We can't be out here trying to harm other people. We can't be out here trying to look for reasons to take other people's lives. We can't. Because now this man who's already, I don't know how old he is 72 or something. Now he's about to spend the rest of his life in prison. He's 57, pardon me. He's about to spend the rest of his life. He's killed somebody. He's going to get 15 years. Unless they can look on that tape and see where there was no other way for him to have, because not only did he kill the guy, but he left the situation, didn't call for any help for him. No, it's not like he stabbed the guy up and he was like, oh man, I stabbed the guy up. And then he called 911 and he was like, oh, we got to get this guy help. He attacked me. I don't know what. That didn't happen. He stabbed the guy up and he bounced. And then some random passerby has seen him. That's what happened. So I want to say, let's hope the best for Kid Creole, but I'm going to say, let's hope justice gets done. Because as much as it would be a shame for Kid Creole to spend the rest of his life in prison, you just can't go around stabbing people in the chest and killing them just because they might be making passes at you. You just can't be doing that. And the thing that kills me is, how do they know, that, see, they say police and sources said, right? So he's telling police he was hitting on me. I get that. But who's the sources? So the sources saw him stab him, and then the sources didn't call the paramedics? Like, who's the sources? Who's the sources? So obviously, we got to wait a little bit longer, and we see what else comes out. And I try to keep y'all updated, as long as something pertinent comes out. If they keep just regurgitating the same facts, I'm not going to keep making videos about the same facts and wasting y'all time having y'all watch the same facts. So, all right, that's all I got on this one. Our next story, it comes straight out of something from Looney Tunes. It makes absolutely no sense. I understand that some of these prisons, they're just hiring people that live in the community, that because that's how prisons work. You build a prison in the middle of some county somewhere, and the prison basically takes care of, by the funds that come into the community come through the prison often, and the prison also get jobs to the people that live in the community. So let's say you, like this particular prison break happen in Walker County Jail, you're not going to go get somebody that lives like 20 counties over. You're probably going to have somebody in from Walker County or the surrounding counties working in the prison. I don't know what their school systems is doing. It is what it is. Anyway, this is in Jasper, Alabama, by the way. So what happens is the prisoners scrape peanut butter off of their bread, right? Like, they're having peanut butter sandwiches. No telling how long, because I'm pretty sure they're not eating peanut butter every day, are they? Anyway, so they scrape the peanut butter off of the bread. Then after they scrape peanut butter off the bread, they use that to change the wording over the door. So you have an exit door, and somehow they use peanut butter and change that to a number. And they went to a cell number. The cell numbers are over the door. So they changed that to a cell number somehow using peanut butter. And then they went to the door that was the actual cell and changed that to make that look like an exit. Then they convinced a guard to let them out of the exit where they, eventually ran out the exit, and then they scaled the fence, and then they hopped over barbed wire, and then they were free. It's a good thing that they were picked up. They wasn't out there too long. They I think it was 12 of them escaped. I think 11 of them was picked up within the day. But this is just crazy. How are we having people break out of prison with peanut butter? Seriously, that guy, whoever that guard is, I'm sorry to say, he needs to not have a job working in a prison. Give him a job doing something else. Seriously, I mean, at this point, you should probably check to make sure that he wasn't in on it. That, he didn't get paid off somewhere. Because peanut butter? Seriously, peanut butter. This is what we're doing now. Peanut butter. It just absolutely doesn't make any sense. They have to be screened. They have to screen these guys a little bit better than this. Um, they just really do. The 12th and final man, Brady Kilpatrick, who was 24, was captured in Tequesta, Florida. I don't know, Tequesta, Florida. He'd been the only one to make it out of Walker County. Look, they said all the men range from 18 to 30. I don't know but just to be honest with you, I don't know how good this was for the men. And to be honest with you, because what do they do? It's like a mandatory 25 years added on or something like that. You get like a mandatory a lot of years added on for actually breaking out of prison. So I don't know how good of a look this was. I mean, if you already got like 50 years, it's like might as well, you know. I'm 24 years old. I got 50 years. I might as well try, right? It is what it is. But if you only have like 10 years and then you trying to break out of prison, I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, first of all, they use the peanut butter and all that other stuff. Maybe they should hire those guys. Whoever the mastermind is, they should hire that guy. You know how you have these corporations like Microsoft and Apple, and if you could hack something, or even I think PlayStation did it a while back, and if you could hack into some of their programs, they're gonna hire you, or they'll pay you like $1 million or something like that. Well, whoever this guy that came up with this scheme that actually allowed for 12 men to break out of prison, 12 men. It's not like 2 guys broke out. It's not like 1 guy broke out. It's not even like 5 guys broke out. 12 men broke out. So whoever was the mastermind behind 12 men breaking out, quite honestly, they need to like get them on some kind of they need to like have them like breaking out of prison, send them all to all the prisons where's our weak spots or some shit. Because this don't make no sense, man. Anyway, that's all I got on this one. All right, that's the Jack Frost show for today. Leave your comments down below. Obviously, I want to know what y'all think about these things. Also, if you have anything to add, and if I got any mistakes in anything in which I've said, please leave it down there and tell me to do my job better. It's fine by me. I'm not going to get upset. We need to make better content. I already know this. And this is going to be an everyday thing, Jack Frost Show. So tune in, Jack Frost Show, every day. Make sure you hit those notifications so y'all can get it. I'm going to be just trying to bring y'all the news, all right? As unbiased as possible. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share. And I'm going to see y'all tomorrow. Peace.